And the new Nigeria People's Party says it is in support of President Bola Tinubu's declaration of state of emergency in Rivers. According to the party, no responsible government will allow things to fall apart before taking a decision that will benefit its citizens. In a statement, the party says the decision must have been taken based on information available to the federal government. The President Tinubu is the Chief Security Officer of Nigeria, and information available to him as president from intelligence sources may not be in public purview. And now, chieftain of the new Nigeria People's Party, Olakposi Sunday, joins me on the news now. Good afternoon. Now, talk to us more about your stance on the emergency rule declared by President Tinubu in Rivers State.
Of the emergency rule, as far as we are concerned, the leadership of the Nigeria People's Party, we look at the history of what has been happening in Rivers State. And looking at that, we believe that the action of Mr. President is in order, is in tandem with our constitution, and it is also according to what is sworn in to protect the lives and property of every Nigerian. The primary aim of every government is to protect the citizens, their lives, their property against any individual interest. So we don't want to play any form of partisan politics with what is happening in Rivers State by when we debar wagons of people that are condemning the action of Mr. President. We are opposition leaders. We know that. But that does not mean that every action of Mr. President must be condemned. What the president did concerning Rivers State is the best option, at least to protect the integrity and sanctity of this country as a peaceful, indivisible nation. That is not what it's supposed to do. And we can see now that after that proclamation, we have peace in Rivers State. Before the intervention of Mr. President, we saw that there have been bombing of pipelines and other things, and that one can escalate and becomes another civil war. But Mr. President has demonstrated that he's truly the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, not just a puppet president. We needed a strong president like Bola Tinubu in Africa. And if every African leader can stand up to face and confront their fears, then we'll be having a good country ahead.
All right, let's talk about other political solutions. What other political solutions do you think would address this crisis?
Yes, I started by saying that look at the political history of what has happened before all these cooler balloons that led to the declaration of this state of emergency. Mr. President has tried as a statesman. I could recollect that in December 17 or so, 2023, Mr. President called Governor Fubara, Wike, the former governor of Rivers State, Peter Hodili, and other political stakeholders in Rivers, to the State House, to discuss the way forward. That is providing political solution to this problem. But it seems that some people that believe that they just need to bring down the country if they are not in power. Some of them were the ones that were agitating Governor Kubala not to listen to the voice of reason. I want to say it loud and clear. How could any Democrat support any governor running a state with just 3 House of Assembly members? Some have done it in the past. There are some people have been doing this, perpetrating this heinous crime against democracy in the past. Does not mean that we should join multitude to do it. Some governors have done it and they do other things and they went away with it because perhaps the president will proceed there, they did not know what to do. Now, every governor will be very careful that there's a new sheriff in town. And if you mess up, then the federal government will know what to do according to the constitution. That section 3 is very explicit. Anybody can try to manipulate it and try to, maybe they are interpreting it to suit their own purpose. But what we know is that Mr. President, in his own wisdom, has tried to provide political solution, not minding whether Fubara is from PDP or from any other party. He called him to Aso Rock, and he summoned the Federal Capital Territory Minister. Wike himself was there, Dr. Odili was there, and other critical stakeholders, and they agreed on some terms. That is how to provide political solutions. But after leaving the meeting, we saw that there are a lot of other front and back and people in Lagos. Do you know that most politicians, I'm also a professional politician, but I say that most of us are betrayers. And most people that are supporting the hidden crime that is going on in Rivers State.
All right, all right, let's quickly talk about the man who is presently in the saddle. What do you think the sole administrator should be doing now in the next 6 months, talking about protection of lives and property in the state?
Thank you very much. Like I said, the primary aim and objective of every government is to protect lives and property. And I think the number one objective that Mr. President will have given to the administrator is to make sure that Rivers State is safe and peaceful. We can only do our business, progress as a nation, where we have peaceful environment and tranquility. We cannot proceed as a nation where we have chaos and people are protecting their own self-interest and are instigating people to go and cause problems. Now, my advice to the administrator is not to look at anybody. Face your job. God has called you at this time for intervention, for Rivers to be peaceful. There should be no any form of bias in his attitude. And this is the time too for the dramatic personnel in Rivers to come back to their senses. And I want Governor Fubara also to sit down and think twice. That most people that are present to Sana today, that the one that say to fight him tomorrow. You don't push people to start moving against the Constitution and the sanctity of the peaceful existence of Nigeria. That one is not negotiable. Where we have some of our governors believe they are about all this, putting down the House of Assembly, constituting and non-constituting people, doing a lot of things, and then you think you can do that and go away with it. What we are seeing in Nigeria today is to know that a new sheriff has come to town. Every one of us should sit tight and be ready to protect the integrity of this nation by making sure that the protection of lives and property, no politics of selfish interests of any individual, want the blood of any Nigerian. Anything that will cause any Nigerian to lose his life, lose their property, I don't think it's a very good venture.
And that's where we'll be leaving it. Thanks indeed for your time with us. And I'll be speaking with the NNPP chieftain, Olamiposi Sunday, sharing his thoughts with us on the emergency rule declared by President Bola Tinubu in Rivers State. Thanks indeed for your time with us. Moving on, after a protracted political